When the journey started, the country was globally ranked 105th in terms of ease of doing business environment. But throughout reforms, then this improved. And I would say that in 2020, when we had the latest ranking by the World Bank doing business report, the country was ranked at 8th globally and 2nd in Africa. The vision and mission of Rwanda Development Board is to make sure that Rwanda is dynamic global hub for investment, for business, and for tourism. And to achieve this, RDB works on a number of main pillars or sectors, that is promoting investment, promoting a world-class business register, promoting exports, and promoting skills that are needed by our private sector, because all this should be centered towards promoting private sector-centered development. I would say that Rwanda is currently being viewed as an open economy and a conducive place to do business. Over a couple of years, we have been seeing a number of investors in different sectors, from agriculture, manufacturing, services coming in, and the most areas that the reforms aimed to improve were in the legal framework, in the institutional framework, but also automation of services. So you could see the time that it took to have, for instance, a business registered considerably reduced, the cost also reduced, thanks to the changes in the legal framework, where it was allowed to start, for instance, a company without it being mandatory to have articles of association, without it being mandatory to have the minimum share capital. It was a mandatory requirement. It required around 400 USD to have the articles of association drafted and notarized. The service was made free on the side of the government. The government had to forego some fees so that it enables private actors to be able to start and then contribute to the economic growth later on. The first catalyst for the change came about 2007. That is when the National Doing Business Reform Standing Committee was established, and this committee was set to lead the reform. So it's around that period that you could see the changes, the reforms starting from the strict sense of it. When the journey started, the country was globally ranked 105th worldwide in terms of the ease of doing business environment. But throughout reforms, then this improved. And I would say that in 2020, when we had the latest ranking by the World Bank doing business report, the country was ranked at 8th globally and 2nd in Africa as when it comes to the ease of doing business. But there is a number of other indicators where the country's rank also improved. I would mention, for instance, registering property, where the country is ranked 2nd worldwide, and many other indicators where the country ranking has improved in terms of how best it is performing on a given indicator. The reforms such as the ones that Rwanda has undertaken require partnerships, definitely. So the first category is about development partners, such as World Bank, that has been pivotal in these reforms. And the second category of partnerships is about contractual partners. And in this regard, I wanted to mention NRD companies that has worked on the technological part of it, the automation of services. So they have worked on the design, development, operation and maintenance of the commercial registration services platforms, which include companies and other business-related services, but also security transactions. As to why we chose them, I would say that NRD was chosen because they understood that it is not only important to understand the technological part, but also to understand the local context, that is the legal framework, the judicial framework, and with the capability to marry both, they were able to indicate to us that they are able to develop a solution, a technological solution that would rather encourage and facilitate its use rather than discourage it. These are partners that understood the vision and the journey of the country, and they wanted to help alongside this journey. In addition to this, I would say that Rwanda has adopted a policy of being open and connected to the not only to the African continent, but also to other places in the world. There is a number of examples to explain this. Rwanda now has adopted a policy of visa on arrival for different people coming in, but also a number of other efforts to make it as connected to the world as possible. We have the national carrier Rwanda that goes to a number of destinations. So all these factors in terms of reforms, whether on the legal framework, institutional framework, but also ensuring that the country is open and connected to the remaining of the world, makes it stand out as a place where investors would prefer to do business. COVID caught us unprepared like anyone else worldwide, but thanks to being online, to having an online platform where service was offered, we kept serving the clients, but this time from home and not from office. So all we had was to move staff from office to working from home. And thanks to this online platform, we did not record a decrease in the number of businesses registered.